It makes me want to like have him date my daughter when she's old enough. I don't know. It's kind of nice that way. This looks
A
like
very,
very
very
nice
respectable young man is what you're saying.
Exactly. Such a nice young man.
Well, if he does good in this match, I'll respect him a little bit more as well. Because in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we've got DongRaeGu. And while some of his results in our past Afreeca World events haven't been really up to what we'd hoped, he's still playing at a very high level. In any game that you watch of his, you can really see that.
Yeah, he's going to be scary. Nobody should ever take him for granted or assume he's going to play poorly in any situation. Scary guy. And then top left, we have the blue Protoss player. This guy's name is ButAlways. Currently teamless from Taiwan. And again, looks like a very nice young man.
Yeah,
All right.
This is my first time seeing anything from ButAlways. I know he went to a WCS match, but
Yeah.
I know he went to WCS because he's won a few of the qualifiers a fair few times, but I haven't actually got to see any of his matches. Some of his results have been great, but I think he's still quite a wild card. And when anyone creeps up in the scene and like reaches a high level, but they're kind of unknown in a sense, or at least to me anyway, it's always something that's really exciting because you're like, oh, just how good is this guy really?
For sure. And the first time I saw his name, he made it into the round of 24 for WCS Fall. He actually ended up getting matched up against fellow Taiwanese Protoss Haz and lost to him 3-2. So he took 2 games off Haz, so he's obviously not terrible. There's no real shame in losing to Haz in that situation.
keep in mind, Haas is a WCS tournament runner-up.
Exactly.
God, I like how it's so easy to forget how that happened.
It is. I mean, he's got a fantastic piece of history on his resume. So, but always took 2 games off him. So I mean, let's roll with that. That's going to be pretty indicative of his potential and what he can do. It's weird that the 2 Taiwanese players got matched up against each other in the round of 24.
Well, yeah, I mean, things like that happen in BlizzCon or in WCS tournaments. Like TLO for like 2 straight years got put into a group with Neeb.
It's true.
Or matched up with Neeb in like the round of 8 or whatever, and then what was another one? There's definitely one other that happened, like that Stefano always getting ZVZ.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when he finally doesn't, he makes it to the round of 8. So it's like, who knows? Who knows what the matchup gods get to decide?
I don't know anything. Anyway, it looks like we have Aki in chat. Welcome, Aki. He's one of my dudes actually helping explain how this works for people that are new, so that's fantastic. Really appreciate the support there, Aki. And PvZ, my favorite matchup in all of StarCraft, in Brood War and StarCraft 2, both. Adept's going to get in here, but really doesn't like what she sees. With the number of Zerglings, yeah, let's cancel that, or let's go ahead and finish that shade, rather, and get out of there. Trying to scout some information on drone counts and whatnot. Doesn't see a lot of interesting information, but Phoenix production has begun from ButAlways. That Mass Phoenix play, always interesting. In a PvZ, it can work really well, but if it doesn't do much, it can really backfire.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't also have to be Mass Phoenix. I honestly wish we'd see Mass Phoenix more. But Protoss will usually just make the 1 in order to kill off the Overlord.
Yeah, at least the 1, and then maybe some Oracle. There we go. Oracle follow-up here, and try to get some drones. Though I gotta say, from watching WCS Global Finals yesterday and last night, it got pretty late, honestly. Started around 9 or 10 o'clock my time. But who was it? Who were we watching that was, there's quite a bit of that happening. It was Rogue was the Zerg player.
Yes.
And then his Protoss opponents were going for these really heavy double, triple Oracle plays with a Phoenix to lift up the Queens, and sure, maybe getting 8 or 9 drones, maybe even 10 drones, but not really having enough tech back home to deal with the eventual Nidus Swarm Host play. Yeah, we'll just call it Swordus play. It's easier.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like here. Very well could be. We're getting a Lair, getting a Roach Warren. So basically what Rogue would be doing is getting a small Roach Ravager play with some Queens, obviously, and then into Swarm Host and Nidus and just attack multiple locations at once. And it was really hard for his opponents to deal with Trap, especially with struggling with it. And I wonder if DongRaeGu has been watching that and been kind of inspired by it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm excited to see, how up to the date on the meta he is, because From what we've seen of DongRaeGu in the past, classically, like in these tournaments, he has played like the older StarCraft 2 player that he is. Just tried and true. But something that I just want to point out before we talk more about that is the lings from DongRaeGu. They are just like, he's just moved them out everywhere. He's scouted pretty much the entire map. And going up, yeah, and he is scouting the entire map. And going up against someone who you've probably never played before, or at least in a tournament, I can say with pretty good confidence, that is the absolute most correct thing you can do. Most important thing you can do, I'd say.
Absolutely. Vision and seeing what's coming and when is hugely important.
Ironically,
also, DongRaeGu going for that third base. Ooh,
yeah, ironically, he doesn't know about these Phoenix, though.
No, that is
he knows about them now, and he's starting Spore Crawlers, but DRG, yeah, didn't know about these Phoenix. ButAlways going for one of the more classic, like, double Stargate Mass Phoenix rushes. Queen's in good position, though, for DRG to fend off the Phoenix, and getting the first defense off. That's something I would say is very, very important, because he's no longer blindsided by this. He's just got to react appropriately, and so far it's gone pretty well for him. And oh, look at that. Oh. DongRaeGu has been keeping up with the meta.
He was like, man, Rogue looked unstoppable doing this yesterday. Let's do it now.
Yeah, Rogue said Swarmhose Nidus is good, or just Nidus in general, so.
I mean, DongRaeGu at least is up on the meta of having 1 million queens, because he's making 3 more to add to the, like, to 10 he has already.
Yeah, I wonder what he is going to put through a Nidus. So, I mean, he hasn't actually made anything. He's made, like, 5-6 roaches. Other than that, he's just got queens to put in this Nidus.
Man, a queen roach, though? What does ButAlways have back home?
Not a lot. Not
a few
lot.
Adepts? Like,
he's got a shield really battery. Dangerous. He's warping a few stalkers.
An Immortal's on the way, but it's going to be here in a bit.
Oh, yeah, there's that Nidus, though, and ButAlways, he, like, a shudder just ran down his spine. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I hate that. So the queens can handle the Phoenix. The roaches should be able to handle those Adepts, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get some cannons up. At the very least, this third base is toast.
Yeah, ButAlways trying to start cannons and shield batteries, but definitely not in time in order to defend versus this. I think if you're ButAlways, you just gotta really keep going hard on the Phoenix and hope that you can overwhelm the Queens or something. Hope that the Zerg player doesn't split up his army appropriately enough.
So Immortal does help to snipe down that Nidus inside the main base, but we're looking at a 4th base coming up back home for DongRaeGu, ButAlways sitting happily and sadly on 2 bases and cannoning up. And I mean, at this stage, just economically, DongRaeGu is in a fantastic position. Even if he doesn't do anything else with this army, he's going to be just fine. He's up 50 supplies, got 71 workers. His 4th base, like I said, is coming up. The Phoenix are trying to do stuff across the map. Or never mind, they're forced to come home. Roaches. Now, the 1 Immortal is going to be worth its weight in gold here, but is it enough is the question. DongRaeGu doesn't want to force the issue.
No, he doesn't, but if you can just spread creep on your opponent's side of the map with your mass queens and just pop in and out of Niduses, you're doing pretty good. And oh, look at this. The Corruptor's coming out too for the Protoss. This is just such a smart, or from the Zerg, pardon me, this is such a smart decision from DongRaeGu because 13 Corruptors is going to basically take a bajillion Phoenix to kill. And the Protoss doesn't really have much anti-air besides that. I mean, he's making 2 Void Rays, but Corruptors scale pretty well early on versus Void Rays.
They do. If you have a good number of Void Rays and they all prismatic alignment at the same time, the Corruptors will evaporate, but you only have 2 of them, not as good.
Yeah,
alright, so trying to clear out this creep with the Roach armies. Hey, those are our creep tumors.
Oh, the Immortal doesn't stay alive?
Ooh,
yes, it does. And oh, the
down.
Phoenix. Nice lift.
Very nice
Getting
lift.
a few guaranteed kills for the Protoss player.
The Corruptors coming in. The gas was spent on Corruptors instead of Ravagers here, which I think I can support. Like you said, there's not much anti-air out of it always here. And a Fleet Beacon on the way from the Protoss now off of those 2 base.
Yeah, 2 base Fleet Beacon. I don't know how to feel about this one.
Gotta say, I'm not feeling super good about it. DongRaeGu is just ahead in every possible
22
right
more
now.
roaches on the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's spending his money pretty well. He's maxed out at this point, too. ButAlways is just backed into a corner and not quite sure what to do about this. So, yeah, interesting Roach Queen attack. Not what Rogue did yesterday, but a variant thereof for sure.
Yeah, as long as you're sending something through the Nidus, it's got a chance, right? And here we see Corruptors looking to zone out the Phoenix. There's a few Void Rays, but all the Queens, all the Corruptors here, I don't know if ButAlways can deal with this. He's going for it, though. He's lifting up so many Queens. The sky is just glowing as the Void Rays engage the Corruptors while the Phoenix take the Queens out of the equation. But there's just too much here, I feel, for the Zerg. I want to say, I can't really tell what's going on underneath there.
Well, army supply is 72, 104 to 54 right now. A lot of those Phoenix are dead.
Yeah, that's it. GG.
Good game. Yeah, so DongRaeGu, perhaps, you know, maybe the Phoenix count actually made him decide not to go for the Swarm hosts. Like, the Locusts are pretty vulnerable in the sky there, and they are light, and Phoenix do pretty well against them. So he might have said, I see the Phoenix count. Let's just go for a regular Roach play and the Queens, and that way the Phoenix are less effective than they otherwise would be. I think the Phoenix might have been a good response to the potential Swarm host, but I don't know. Without talking to them, it's kind of hard to know exactly what was going through their minds there. But in the end there, yeah, DongRaeGu making those million Queens, getting his expansions up early. The Phoenix really did nothing. I want to say, did any drones die in that game at all? Every time the Phoenix went to pick in, there were 5 or 6 Queens just waiting for him, shoving him away. ButAlways was not willing to risk anything to get in there, and I mean, he just didn't slow down DongRaeGu at all. Not even a bit. So game 1 definitely looking pretty strong for DongRaeGu. ButAlways, I feel like, was preparing for the Swarm host. Hard to know. But if the Phoenix weren't going to get anything done on the other side of the map, it would have been nice for them to at least shoot down Locusts if any had arrived. But DongRaeGu said, yeah, let's just not make any of those. Let's go Roach Queen, bring in some Corruptors for the Phoenix and call it good. And that worked out for him.
Yeah, that was well played by DongRaeGu, just really doing what you need to do. I'm excited to see what ButAlways is going to bring out next. Like, I really enjoyed the fact that he went for the Phoenix, and maybe, like, I think in a different game that definitely could work, so maybe he'll bring out something just as unique as all them Phoenix.
I'd like to see it. Maybe a cannon rush.
I was actually just about to say the same thing. Let's see it, ButAlways.
Like, let's just hope he's been talking with Haz for the last,
I mean, he is a Taiwanese player, so...
Yeah, I'm sure they have each other's email addresses.
Anyway, here we are, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's DongRaeGu.
And in the top left, it is the blue Protoss player, ButAlways.
Yeah, I'd love to see a cannon rush. Overlord moving across the map, ButAlways going for a wall at the... Okay, this could be interesting. This is an interesting start, right? Like, or is this just... This has got to be like a full wall off at the main ramp, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people try this before against Zerg, but it doesn't usually go very well for them. But definitely, you kind of try to wall off the natural base while leaving an option to kind of wall off the rest of it and take the third in a minute. It's kind of like a 2-stage process.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a pool first play just because it's Thunderbird. It's a long rush distance. Slow links take a while to get here, but I have seen a pool first shut this down pretty hard. It's really hard to wall off properly. So
yeah.
DongRaeGu not worrying about it, though. Just going for the, you know, hatch gas pool play. Droning up. And ButAlways really shouldn't have any kind of pressure coming at him anytime soon.
No, even if he did, though, he would be pretty blindsided. There is no probe scope from ButAlways. So if DongRaeGu this game had decided to bust out a 12 pool or something like that, ButAlways would just be dead. He'd pretty much just be dead. Fortunately, of course, he made the right call. That is not the case, like Falcon said. It is, it's Thunderbird. Don't usually see rushes on this map.
Overlord comes in, really can't be too surprised at the walling off we're seeing here. And yeah, you're right. He's not probe scouting at all. I thought maybe he'd send a delayed one, but as it stands, I think he's just going to go for a quick third, maybe wall off a little bit.
Oh, look at this.
Go for the...
Oh, actually, the Overlord doesn't see that robo.
Forces are under attack.
No, trying to avoid death mostly is what the Overlord is into right now. So I'm going to get up to that high ground and avoid getting killed, but the information that that's a robo would have been good to have.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what do you think ButAlways is going to do with this robo?
I mean, Immortals are obviously great. I mean, the most success I've seen from Protoss against Zerg recently are kind of either standard or a little bit weirder timing attacks at around the 6 or 7 minute mark. Like maybe you don't even have charge for the Zealots yet. You just show up with a bunch of Immortals, couple Stalkers, some slow Zealots. Try to get something done and try to catch the Zerg off guard when they just want to drone up.
Okay, I could get behind that. Now, we take a look here. DongRaeGu, he's a little bit suspicious of what ButAlways is doing. Doesn't want to give him free reign to go for whatever. So he is making use of that pneumatized carapace.
Yeah, that Overlord speed is hugely important. We saw that a ton in the global finals yesterday. Rogue got it in, I think, every game.
Yeah, I think Zerg should get it in pretty much every game, right?
Yes, absolutely. And even if you're prepared for it, even if you know where the Overlord is coming, it's so hard to kill them before they scout your stuff.
Yeah, they're so quick, and they're pretty darn tanky.
They're quick, they're tanky, they've got good vision range too, so... I mean, that covers so much of ButAlways' base, and he's been shot at the whole time. I mean, there was a time it was impossible to scout for Zerg.
And now it's just so...
And now it's easy. And
It's
there's gotta
easy
be a
as pie.
There's got to be a way to middle ground it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, though.
Yeah, I think that is one of the problems that Blizzard has. Oh, by the way, ButAlways, just casual double Stargate, by the way.
Oh.
I'm liking this guy. Double Stargate, quick third Nexus. This is what I want to see. And I'm enjoying
Carrier
it.
Rush? Is this like a goblin thing?
It could be Turtle 3 bases on Thunderbird with an early wall. I mean... You usually would just go for like one Stargate, start the Fleet Beacon, then start the extra Stargates. Going for two, maybe it's going to be like double Oracle or something, and then go into a Fleet Beacon. I honestly have no idea what this is. I'm not going to pretend that I do.
It is just so late though for Oracles. We're coming up on the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, but it could be one of those things which you just surprise the Zerg. Look at this. No,
no spores.
no Spore at the third, or at the natural. Pardon me.
So, main in the natural, or main in the
look
third
at that,
round.
yeah, Fleet Beacon on the way for the Protoss. But, DongRaeGu,
Yes!
he's going for a second pass.
And yeah, scouting's all about stages, all about making sure you know what's up at the certain parts of the game. So a couple Phoenix out early, maybe to ward off scouting.
What?
But
Is that gonna be for like,
an eye on pulse crystals?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't... Well, either way, the Overlord scouts this, sees the fleet.
I mean, we don't know what to make of it. Maybe DongRaeGu doesn't
I know.
either.
I mean, you would just assume carrier, though, right?
Yeah, I think you would, but he's gonna see the Phoenix, or at least see one of the Phoenix. Okay, this is just bizarre. I don't know what to make of this. Now he goes into Void Rays. What?
What? Void Ray is getting +1 attack, which you don't need a Fleet Beacon for. Oh, this is so crazy. All right, what's DongRaeGu working on? Getting a Spire, going for Roach speed, making a bunch of Zerglings.
Is he just gonna attack this wall?
I'm gonna try,
Force field
but
goes down. There is enough to fend off what's going to be coming his way. And did DongRaeGu catch a glimpse of the fact that he swapped into Void Rays? No, I think that's still a Phoenix in there.
It's too far away. I don't think the Lings can see that from the wall. 8 Corruptors in production.
Okay,
though.
now a carrier. So 2 Void Rays and... Oh, no. Now back into Void Rays. I don't even know.
I don't either, but DongRaeGu's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's make 10 Corruptors.
You make enough Corruptors. Unless the Protoss has Storm, they're pretty darn good.
True fact. Hey, and Ion Pulse Crystals is coming out, so that
Oh my
extra
gosh,
range
what?
for Phoenix is on the way.
What does this even mean? Why?
This is like a non-standard Sky Toss play. I kind of like it, to be honest.
I mean...
I don't think it's going to work, but I like non-standard.
Exactly. I mean, I'm enjoying the show, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
DongRaeGu's been left entirely alone for the first 7
Yeah,
minutes
you can't
of this
do that
game.
to a Zerg.
He's on 4 bases. He's got 80 workers. He can do whatever he wants at this point, and that just is the worst part of it all for ButAlways. DongRaeGu is not threatened. He wasn't pressured. He's not worried about a thing right now.
Corruptors moving on in. They're just like, what's really going on in here?
Bring an Overseer around.
They're going to move on in. They're not going to be able to pick anything off. There is a substantial amount of air units here for ButAlways.
The Stalker Void Ray combo is pretty scary for that amount of Corruptors.
What if he does just make like 200 Corruptors? or 200 Void Razor just gets out like a substantial amount. It goes both ways. Mass Corruptors is generally a pretty good counter to everything until the Protoss gets Storm. But Mass Void Razor are actually pretty good unless there's something like Hydras or Infestors are out. And there is neither of that yet for DongRaeGu. I say yet because he is getting up an Infestation Pit, though.
Yeah, Hydra and Infestor are required once the Void Rays get to a certain point. Because if you don't have those, again, the Corruptors will melt with that Prismatic Alignment coming in.
Yeah, once
that extra damage versus armor destroys them.
Yeah, once you've got to that point, though, like, they are pretty good. Like, but, see, it's another of those things, right? Like, there's no middle ground, it would seem. Like, Void Rays are really good, or they're just garbage.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you got Hydras and you have Infestors, or, like, Parasitic Bomb's really good against Void Rays because they stack so hard. But none of that's coming up from DongRaeGu. He's like, you know what we're doing? We're doing Zergling Corruptor. Let's go. What? Hive's on the way, so maybe Broodlords, but...
Okay, there we go. Infestors.
Infestors, there we go. 4 Infestors on the way.
And, like, you just fungal the Voids, and that's GG, right? Oh, Corruptor's coming on in. They say bye-bye to this Nexus as they begin splurging all over it. Void Rays are going to come on in. They're going to lock onto 1 or 2 of them, but with using his Prismatic Alignment, he can't even pursue because they're just so slow now.
Yeah.
What buffs were Void Rays getting in the new patch? There was definitely something, I want to say.
What they proposed recently?
Yeah, there was something that was supposed to be coming after BlizzCon.
Well, there's stuff they proposed, but... Let's see, October 3rd was it? Yeah? Let's see what they said.
Okay, ButAlways, I mean, he's at 96 supply. He's going to be looking to move on out with his Void Rays. DongRaeGu, though, he's getting all the good Zerg units for the late game, and with Infestors and soon-to-be Vipers, this army's just going to die, right?
It's not looking great, no.
Like, you gotta say, like, what Protoss in their right mind wants to just turtle back versus Zerg in the late game?
Nobody does?
Not a lot of Protoss.
So, what they want to do is bring back Flux Veins, which is something back in Wings of Liberty. It basically increases, it's an upgrade that increases the Void Rays' movement speed, increases their acceleration. Still slows them down when they use Prismatic Alignment, but it makes them faster.
Okay.
Pretty significantly, too, from a 3.5 to a 4.65, so that's pretty zippy. That's like chase stuff down. Anyway, these Zealots are all dead. The Banelings shouldn't really even explode.
I mean, he sees there's Infestors, so he's like, huh.
Neural Parasite on the way? No, working on chitinous plating, adrenal glands.
I mean, there is a
ground army
that DongRaeGu overcommits, right? Like,
for sure.
If DongRaeGu decides to attack on in here, he can definitely lose this fight. He's only got 4 Infestors. He's got some Vipers, but still, I mean, if he just decides to attack on into the Protoss, it's not going to work out. I mean, he's being quite aggressive. So we'll see if he's going to dive on in there.
Boy, those Phoenix are dead.
Yeah, they have themselves a bad time, but this actually gets DongRaeGu to go forward. Good feedbacks. Void Rays splitting off. Is the Zerg going to be able to break the Protoss?
The Infested Terrans are out.
Oh, the Banelings make it to the mineral line, though.
They do, but... I mean, 20 probes down, but otherwise...
DongRaeGu just fired up 88 Zerglings.
He sure did. I don't know what that does.
Yeah, no, I actually don't know what this does. Unless they can grow wings and turn into Scourges or whatever, I don't see that being a good move. Now, ButAlways, he took himself a good fight, but it's like DongRaeGu's just not interested in playing the Zerg super late game. He's getting up a Nidus, he's just going to make a ton of Lings and counterattack, and this could be a pretty scary counterattack here.
It could, but base racing with Zerglings is not fantastic.
Oh, feedback on another Viper. The feedbacks have been really nice from the Protoss.
Yeah, from ButAlways. The Fungals are doing some damage, but there's no follow-up.
And all those 88 Lings are now dead.
Dead. And ButAlways' army supply is 98 to 83. 46 more Lings on the way.
What the heck,
DongRaeGu is playing this like me. He's like, I lost a fight. Panic Lings! Lings will win!
Okay, there we go. That's what he's doing. 15 Infestors on the way.
Okay. All right.
Now, the thing
So
is,
ButAlways
he
needs to
hasn't
go.
got pathogen glands yet, though, so they're not going to have a ton of energy.
No, starting it now, but it's too
Oh,
late.
yeah,
All
the
infestors
Protoss is
will
coming.
pop.
He's a-coming, and there's just a few infestors and the few, like, 12 corruptors for anti-air.
ButAlways, you can't be afraid.
Yeah,
Let's go.
if he, I mean, the thing is, you'd expect a Zerg to have like, tons at this point. DongRaeGu, he's
but-
really been dragging his feet, though.
I mean, I like that you're clearing creep. It's fantastic. DongRaeGu is sending a Ling counterattack up the bottom side.
Okay,
What is even
cannons,
here?
shield
Couple
batteries,
cannons.
few zealots warping on in.
Yeah, zealots and shield batteries pretty good in this situation. Not bad. The Lings
Not
are
bad
kind
at
of getting
all.
messed up on their pathing. Oh, the whole army comes back. No.
That's exactly what Zerg wants when they counterattack.
Oh,
But
that's
always
a
is getting
hard
up to a
lesson.
5th base, and oh, there we go. Nidus getting called on in by DongRaeGu.
Well, like, what are we doing? Ling
Banes
Banes?
find the attempt at a 5th base, gonna cancel all that static defense.
I don't even know what's in that. Anything? Doesn't matter.
Nope, it was just debate. Protoss was out of position. He lost his 5th base. High Templar gonna get caught by Lings. They get saved though. Oh, he morphs him into an Archon.
I think he'd prefer the Storm, but it's alright.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so ButAlways, one thing he needs to work on here is he's got to stop responding with everything to every little threat that comes his way.
Yeah, that's why you want to get up all the cannons and everything as the Protoss.
Or, if you have to send back a few units, sure, but there's no reason to send your whole army back for 20 Lings. There's just not.
Speaking of Lings, how many have died this game? 246.
That sounds about right. Another Nidus coming up in the main base. A couple Changelings there, standing guard. Neural Parasite just about to complete here for DongRaeGu, and now DongRaeGu has the tools required to wreck this. There was a window!
He does.
There was a window where ButAlways would be able to do something here, but it's closed now. I do not feel good about this for the Protoss at
Few
all.
Lings in that Nidus. Voidry is attacking.
Yeah, look, the whole army comes back to deal with this. It's just not needed.
Overseer coming on in. I'm willing to bet there's going to be Nidus round 2. Oh, cannons.
Oh, it stopped.
Well done,
It could've got
cannons.
through. Ling's just keeping the pressure up. DongRaeGu trying to get it something of a bank here with the 74 workers, working on a Greater Spire.
More Lings dying.
Yeah, the Greater
It's a
Spire. is gonna
bad
be
game
these
to be a
Archons.
Ling here.
It really is. This kind of feels like a sort of game, or like a true game with all the Lings that are
Oh, a
gonna toss
true
around.
game. Oh.
True loves his Zerglings.
You know, I played versus Cats the other day on ladder. He made nothing but Zerglings, pretty much.
Do you win?
Yeah, of course he did. I was making Hellions and Battle Cruisers. And I lost the game essentially just to mass Lings. I was like, huh. Alright.
I assume there are queens involved.
Yeah, there was Queens. But the primary thing was Lings, just mass counterattacks.
That's fantastic. And hilarious. Did he proxy hatch you?
Yeah, he did.
Cat's got a cats.
Yeah, I was like, well, it's Cat, so he's gonna be doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now
the
we're seeing
spores.
ButAlways go for an attack. He eats
There's
one
just-
fungal. Infested Terran gonna go down. Just a few for starters. There could be a lot more where that came from, but oh, the Neural Parasite starting to go down. The Parasitic Bomb. And ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see why you do not go late game Protoss versus Zerg. 3, 2, 1,
Yeah.
and it is gone.
Call. Does get some units out of there, but army supplies 119 to 80. Some carriers got
A
out.
lot
but
of
that was
carriers did
literally it.
survive.
Not bad. They were this close to dying. That timing was pretty good from ButAlways, but that's it. That,
Not,
I mean,
yeah, not bad for the escape, but still not good. Like,
no, he didn't kill anything. He didn't slow DongRaeGu down at
actually,
all.
he did kill like all the infestors.
Okay, that's fair.
19 infestors have died. But then there's 18 more on the way. Static defense for DRG. I don't know what to say about this game. DRG doesn't actually have a bank though anymore.
That's true. That's triple
He
digits.
spent
in
all
both
his
minerals.
money on legs. And perhaps just a bit into the 20 infestors that he remade.
And he hasn't really spread the creep to the point where he can push on any of ButAlways bases. Which is interesting.
Yeah, when Zerg usually pushes with Broodlord Infestor, it usually involves some spore creep as well, so you're definitely right about that. A Nidus going down at DongRaeGu's base. I guess just to transfer drones or something like that. Or just because he had the vision and he's like, ah, what the heck. Niduses are cheap. A lot of carriers here for ButAlways. If he's going to be just parking them around the space, I'd really like to see some static defense get up ASAP. The cannons and shield batteries are pivotal if you're going to take a fight. Oh, mass infestors move forward. ButAlways, he's focusing down infestors with the cannons, though, so he's at least getting some value. I mean, how many infestors did he get there? He got like 4 infestors at least for his troubles. So at least it's something. Mothership could get in here to save this Nexus, perhaps. Oh, can she cloak it?
She could have.
No, she doesn't. Away.
She had the window.
She just didn't care enough about that Nexus.
No. A lot of infested Terran.
And to be fair, if you were a Mothership, would you want to fly towards all those infested Terran?
No. Nidus coming up again. Gonna die before it even gets halfway done. +3 flyer on the way from DongRaeGu and +3 armor for his air units.
ButAlways gonna be looking to go for another attack. I don't know how I feel about this, though. There is a lot of infested. There's a lot of broodlords. I mean, if you can bait out all the infested Terran and get Psystorms off, it's definitely doable to take a fight. However, tagging into this many infestors is definitely still risky. Ling counterattack gonna kill that Nexus. Nicely done for the Zerg player. 4 Lings. Get a lot of work done.
It just feels like a long, slow death for ButAlways.
I mean, DongRaeGu is giving him hope, though, right?
Kinda. But this mass carrier has never done anything against late game Zerg in the last 6 months.
Yeah, since
not at this level.
Well, I mean, like players, as you said, players like Goblin can do it sometimes.
Yeah, but it needs to be gotta get it done faster than this is the thing.
I think you're definitely right about that. The goal usually is like we do see Protoss go into like carriers and everything, but it's usually to try and kill the Zerg beforehand. And ButAlways he moves forward. He eats a bit of a fungal. Is there going to be Psystorm to cover his retreat? Feedback goes down. However, that doesn't one-shot infestors anymore. Psystorm goes down, and oh, High Templar traitors. Feedback kills the infestor though. The spellcasters battling it out. I think ButAlways got the better end of that though.
Probably.
It's tough to say. A recall goes down.
Cause changelings?
Changelings and the Nidus, I suppose.
Does he not know those are changelings? Okay, he does.
He does. It's just such a pain
to
kill them all.
I remember making 15 zealots.
Baneling's going to be going for an attack at this base. There is definitely enough cannons to stop that, though.
For sure. I mean, they'll get a cannon.
They give it the good old college try.
They sure did. Good job, guys. That was a bad trade. More spores coming up. And again, you hear Protoss complain about the spores, too. These little spore crawler forests are so hard to penetrate with Skytoss.
Yeah, they're very tough to penetrate here. Oh, Carrier's getting Infestor, too. Like, I mean, ButAlways, if he's clearly practiced this style. So, like, he's got a definitive game plan, it would seem, and he's just actually really relying or capitalizing on the fact that DongRaeGu's late game Zerg isn't that scary, it would seem. Time Warp even being used. When's the last time you saw that? Psystorm getting tossed down, trying to zone out some units here, ButAlways, I don't know if he can push on in, though. It's going to be tough. More Psystorm going down. Is he going to break the Zerg here?
Nope.
Mass Infested Terran getting tossed down. Mothership gets abducted.
Instantly killed there by all the spores. And again,
lot of
just
interceptors died too.
So many interceptors have died.
Reading. The resources lost though is in favor of the Protoss for now though.
It is, and that's normal. Zerg can win a game where their opponents are, have lost fewer resources than they have, especially at this number.
Yeah, it's not like a massively significant number, but it could be a bit of a sign that ButAlways is having pretty good success here. Carriers rebuild interceptors a little bit quicker these days, so he's going to be going in for another attack already. Definitely has to back out again though. Oh, Fungal getting tossed on out there. How many interceptors have died this game? 210.
That's a good number.
Oh, Carrier's very clumped up. Is there any Psystorm going down to zone at these Infestors? The Templar run forward, but now that they're gone, the Carriers really are exposed. There's so many Infestors here. The Void Rays are at the front, really doing the tanking and the zoning, but here goes the Infestors. They're chasing after this army, ButAlways, he's focusing some of them down, though, and he's got a decent number of them. This trade is actually going pretty well for ButAlways. Look at the resources lost. DongRaeGu has just lost so much here. What?
He has, but he's got 10 more Infestors on the way.
I think ButAlways has done this. Like...
I don't know. As soon as he, ButAlways kills a single hatchery, I'll believe it.
Like, that was a really good fight for ButAlways.
It was.
He just traded interceptors as the thing, really, and a few Templar and Void Rays, and... Like, the resources lost. DongRaeGu, he just lost, he just gave up, 6,000 or 7,000 more than ButAlways did in that fight.
And DongRaeGu's gas bank is essentially nothing right now, which is not good.
Yeah, look at this. ButAlways, he's pushing into the Zerg right now. What? Lots of infested Terran have been tossed out again. Mass observers there in the front, making sure those infestors can be seen. A Fungal hits the army. Fight's going down. Carriers are starting to get focused by the Corruptors. ButAlways is retreating.
Yeah,
he retreats over some shield batteries and cannons.
Really mean those Corruptors are. 28 Lings on the way because...
because he's DongRaeGu, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
ButAlways has done a great job expanding and keeping stuff alive as well as he can.
Yeah, his economy isn't bad at all. DongRaeGu, on the other hand, is down to 39 drones.
His gas bank is 100. That's not good.
No, it is not. That's what happens when you lose 58 Infestors.
It's a lot of gas. It's a lot of gas. Alright, so ButAlways is clawing and scraping his way back into this game.
Yeah, I'm believing, man. I'm sold.
I mean, he's up.
Look at the supply.
I mean, that's mostly probes, though.
Still.
Army supply, pretty even.
Oh, Ling's counterattacking the cannons, fighting as hard as they can.
Yeah, at this stage,
too significant at this point, though. That base is mined out. Archon's gonna kill most of the Lings.
Does he not have ground carapace? He doesn't. He's got flyer carapace, so he doesn't have ground carapace. Huh. Interesting choice. Ling's coming up again to a base that's already dead. I'm not sure what the intent is here. I mean, if you want to try to snipe the base that's already coming up, sure, but... Oh, DT's loving that.
There is a lot of spores and spines at this base, though.
That is... Yeah, I'm just saying, as far as dealing with Zerglings that are not supported. Pretty good. Oh, they came into range of the spore detection, though.
DTs have a bad time. Although, suddenly, the Protoss Golden Armada says, "You pick on my little brother," and then this base is going to get purged.
Yeah, DongRaeGu's not doing a whole lot here, but there's your first hatch going down.
Yeah, he got the hatch.
He did. DongRaeGu attacking up the right side, too, with some Broodlords coming up towards that middle base for ButAlways.
Yeah, poking.
Trying to take down the cannons. And then, man, he could send some Lings in and wipe that out if he has any.
Oh, a recall even goes down for the Protoss.
Okay, the Broodlords need to get out now.
They need to run away.
And
retreat to their
one of the Broodlords goes down.
Mass spores. The Protoss was pulled a little bit out of position, too, by that recall. 10 drones have died. DongRaeGu's economy is essentially non-existent at this point. He really needs to rely on his standing army. More cannons, more shield batteries going up for the Protoss. I really, really like seeing this. The Zerg, who's trying to push up with Spore Crawlers, is going to have no success. High Templars are on the ground. They've got a lot of energy. A couple more Infestors get focused down. Psystorm's blanketing almost all of them. And yeah, the Infestors are just melting.
Yeah, they're getting focused for real nice.
Yeah, wow. ButAlways has won this. Oh my gosh. GG.
Wow.
Okay.
Very nicely done. What patience on display,
yeah,
too.
ButAlways showing how well versed in that style he is. Like, I was just like, what are you doing, man? You can't late game versus Zerg like that. And he shows that he's very well versed in that style, whereas DRG, on the other hand, maybe not set up, not equipped to deal with something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. He needed a bigger bank, is what he
definitely
needed.
did.
Bunch of bases that he wasn't mining gas from and kept spending resources on lings instead of on drones. I think his economy just faltered there, didn't have the gas bank he needed to replace his units, and wasn't able to get that done in the late game. So nice job by ButAlways.
Do you think he should have had Carapace there to help keep his Infestors alive longer?
It would have helped for sure against those carriers.
Because he had no Carapace.
Yeah, no ground carapace at all is rough stuff. The corruptors appreciated having the armor, so yeah, your lings and infestors would appreciate it too.
Yeah, yeah, maybe DongRaeGu should have just gone for more corruptors, less infestors. I
think it would have been nice. The void ray count wasn't very high. I kind of feel like just a mass corruptor would have been really good against those carriers.
Like there was Templar, but there wasn't that many Templar for the Protoss. Right. So the Zerg definitely could, if he, instead of making a ton of infestors, he could have made a ton of corruptors once or twice and dove on top of the Protoss' air army.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That's why we do more than a best of 3 here. It's definitely a best of 5. So
okay, here we are. After that first game, I was like, is ButAlways just gonna get 3-0'd or whatever? But no. Giving us hope, or giving us a series at least. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, we've got DongRaeGu, and oh, now he brings it out. Early pool.
Yeah. And in the bottom right, still blue, it's ButAlways.
Ironically, he's probably not feeling blue after that last game. ButAlways goes for a gateway. And then he's going to go for a probe scout as well.
Very smart to do so. Really can't complain about probe scouting. Again, I'm shocked he didn't probe scout at all the last game. But
yeah, I mean...
it worked out for him in the end, so... Ooh, hang on. Is this a scout or is this a proxy? This route he's taking.
It's definitely a scout, right?
Yeah, there we go. All right, so he's going to go ahead and see the early pool.
Like, huh, good thing I probe scouted this game.
Wow, the entire lack of a natural.
He sees the drone coming down. He pylon blocks. That's pretty darn satisfying for the Protoss.
It is, but it's going to last about 4 seconds because there's lings out.
Yeah, but then, I mean, if the lings go for the pylon, then the rush is effectively just finished because they
the rush
take
is
too
finished
long.
As it is, because they're not getting through this wall. I don't know. You scout it that early here on Triton. It's a fairly long rush distance.
Wow, DongRaeGu, no natural expansion for him yet due to this pylon.
He needs it. That's why he's taking down that pylon instead of sending the reinforcements across.
Yeah, there's a Zealot here. The Cybercore is on the way. I mean, the Lings can work away on the gateway and be a pain.
They can. Another Zealot, interestingly enough. I guess you didn't have the Cybercore until now.
No.
Oh,
the Lings do get in. The Zealot takes down 1 or 2 of them. Oh, a beautiful wall from ButAlways. He actually catches the Lings inside of his base.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh my gosh. I definitely don't think he intended for that to happen, but boy, did it ever work out. More Lings are coming, though. Probe throws up a pylon. Expertly done by ButAlways.
Sacrificing their lives so this wall comes up.
Stalker realizing that Zealot wasn't cut out in order to make that hold.
Wow, that Zealot. How many kills you got, Zealot?
5. 5 Lings.
Not bad.
It's kind of funny if you think about it. Like, zealots are supposedly like this super Protoss warrior, well, zealot. And then it's like, oh, you got 5 kills. You did pretty good. 5's not that big of a number if you think about it in that case. If you devote your entire life to battle.
Yeah, but most zealots die to forlings in just a one-on-one situation like that. For him to get 5 is pretty impressive.
He did good.
The only unit on the field that could kill these guys. It was up to me, and I got 5 of them. It's a pretty good story to tell your friends.
Okay, an immortal on the way for ButAlways. DRG, I mean, he's going to be throwing up a third base, so everyone's macro is a little bit disrupted this game, ButAlways, I mean, I think he's in the better spot, though. Just finishing up these gateways, he's throwing up even more gateways here. Is he just going to counter all in DongRaeGu? We got a Prism queued up after this. I think he definitely is. Just a bunch of gateway units. Big old all-in.
Like I said, this is fairly standard these days for Protoss to just try to kill Zerg before you get to that late game scary stuff. Although, he's shown he can win it, so... I don't know, if I'm ButAlways, I guess it's harder to take a third base on this base, or on this map than on Thunderbird.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like a very Thunderbird-specific build he went for in the last match. So, and I think DRG would be a little bit more well-versed if they were to have a repeat like that late game. So I actually love the fact that he's like, yeah, sure, I'll throw up a few gateways. Let's go for it. He's even warping in Stalkers. He's like, hey, DongRaeGu, I'm here to kill ya.
Hey, Overlord, stop peeking on us.
Stop living. Oh, it survived though. Now that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That Overlord would have been a supply block.
Yeah, now DongRaeGu, he's firing up a ton of lings, getting up a spine crawler. I think ButAlways can at least get the third base though, right? But this is a build designed to kill.
No sign of a third base anyway, so going right for the third base of DongRaeGu. And then saying, never mind, that's boring, let's just kill him now. Baneling Nest is not done, and now it is.
Oh,
Lings
yeah,
coming on in.
Fights happening before that, and Immortal Stalkers and Zealots taking on Lings and Queens here. And the Zerg army is kind of just disappearing. Drones are being pulled into the mix. The Prism gets zoned on out. Most of the Zealots have gone down, though. Another Warpin bringing 4 more into the fight. But, oh, is this going to work out for DongRaeGu? Can he make the hold? 4 drones have died, but if that's it, this is an acceptable hold, I want to say. Oh,
I think so.
The Prism.
Losing the third base would be a problem for sure. The Queen's making sure the War Prism gets far, far away from there, and DongRaeGu holds it.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, ButAlways not quite ready to go home.
Oh yeah, if you're a Protoss, you just say, all right, I gotta keep going. Just keep giving gas. He's gonna try and get the third of the Zerg. The Queens want to try and shut down that Prism, which would effectively end this rush. There's Banelings in the mix now. One force field doesn't do a heck of a lot, and all the Banelings get pretty nice connections there on the Zealots, so they all go down. The Baneling connections were huge there for the Zerg.
Yeah, Baneling Nest really just beyond important in that situation for DongRaeGu. ButAlways finds himself in a huge amount of trouble. Army supply is doubling up for DongRaeGu right now. He's got his third base. He kept that alive. His worker count is pretty healthy. He is droning up like a madman, as you do after you hold an attack like that. And ButAlways trying to find somewhere else to get some more damage.
Yeah, if you're the Zerg, you just say, right, I got a license to drone. I think if you're ButAlways, I know he's really broke at the moment, but like say warping in 2 Adepts and sending them to one of the bases or something like that. He's going to try and drop with the Prism, but it's so low on HP. It's such a risk. I'd like to see him warp in 2 Adepts and like shade them into the natural or something.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find an angle for sure.
A Robotics Bay on the way here for the Protoss. That's an interesting choice. He's just 2-basing it for now. He might get an Overlord. No, he doesn't. Prism will come back and will allow him to kill that.
There we go. Provide some vision. Get something done anyway. Meanwhile, Roach is on the way from DongRaeGu, getting that glial reconstitution.
Yeah.
And the Overseer, just really hitting all the check marks here.
And this could just be a lot of Roaches from DongRaeGu.
Could be. Robotics Bay going to be all right here. If you get some, I mean, as we always say, the Disruptor is the unit you make when you're behind. So some really good connections on some roaches would be good. Or, you know, just Colossus. That's fine, too.
Yeah, the Overseer that came on in here got repelled. Changeling gets on in, though, and it does see the Robotics Bay. But always, oh my gosh, he's such a Protoss. He throws up 3 more gateways and starts making a Colossus. He says, round 2, let's go. It's going to be tough to make this attack work, I feel, but he's definitely committed at this point in the game. So with his 1 Colossus, some sentries and an Immortal, he's gonna give it.
And here comes the swarm. Got lings, banelings, roaches, ravagers, but always. I'm not sure he wants to engage in the middle of the map here. At the very least, he wants to pull back to home. But he needed a third base about 2 minutes ago, and he just doesn't have one.
Yeah, I mean, I like the attack path, the choice to bring down the rocks to attack into the third base. It's a rather narrow location. He's got himself sentries so he can force field warping in stalkers. The Colossus is pretty much going to be here just for zoning, but Ravagers and Banelings being morphed for DongRaeGu. I don't think DRG quite expected this attack, but here it is. Force field's getting tossed down for ButAlways. Banelings roll forward, though they get pretty okay connections. Ravagers stepping forward onto this army, and more Banelings and Corrosive Vials going down onto the army, and I think that's going to be that.
Yeah, but always, I mean, he's not dead, but when your opponent has 4 bases and you have 2, especially if there's Zerg, it's really bad feeling. I mean, the Colossus aren't dead, which is nice. He did a good job of pulling those back and keeping them alive, but all DongRaeGu has to keep doing what he's doing, and he is. It's more lings, more roaches, getting +1 attack. The banelings are here. That Warp Prism has been so close to dead for some time. Colossus gets the heck out of there.
It's playing with fire, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the shields are basically...
Oh, DongRaeGu actually just attacks the army. He's like, you're busy microing this prism. Here I am. And those Zealots
on the Zealots.
meeting Banelings. It's just quarter past not happening here for ButAlways.
No, 70 to 30 total supply in favor of the Zerg. ButAlways, I appreciate the hook spot here, but DongRaeGu gets the win. And that's a 2-1 series lead for DongRaeGu in this best of 5. Can DongRaeGu close it out in game 3, or will ButAlways be able to pull this out? I mean, again, I just kind of feel like his best bet is a 3-base carrier play. Everything else he's tried thus far has not been super great.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the way he's going about playing this series. It's just DRG is such a good Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, core... The capabilities of Zergs is the ability to make just enough units to survive. Because if you make too many units, you don't have enough of an economy. And if you make too few units, you die. So for him, just to have just enough to save his third base, just enough to push back from his natural, pulling drones even to hold that thing. I mean, that's where you want to be as a Zerg player. It's just barely holding it, because then you can drone up a ton behind it. You didn't lose any hatcheries, you didn't lose too many workers, and you're just in a much better place in the mid game there. So nicely done. As you said, that early attack was intended to kill DongRaeGu, but couldn't pull it off, and from there it was an uphill battle from ButAlways. So it looks like we're going to be on Disco Bloodbath for game number 4 here between our 2 players. Looks like they are both fairly ready to go here.
All right, and off we are.
Yeah, Disco Bloodbath. Very colorful map. Because it's a disco floor, obviously.
I mean, the name is, I'm going to say it, the name is the best part about this map.
It's pretty good. But your third bases are wide open and hard to hold if you're Protoss and Terran, that's
your bases are cramped, your third base is wide open. Besides that, no thank you.
Otherwise, no complaints.
No complaints indeed. Okay, here we are. This man spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. He's got himself a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. It's DongRaeGu.
And spawning in the bottom rightish, it's ButAlways.
ButAlways indeed. I mean, Disco Bloodbath is a map I can see you playing late game on as the Protoss.
Explain why.
It's big.
Ah.
And the Zerg's main base is easily attackable by air. So if you want to, I mean, say if you get there, you can kind of bounce around, say go into the main base, pull the Zerg back, recall, do that kind of Protoss shenanigans. It's a tough road to get there, past the 3/4 base stage, but if you can get past that, I think I could see it as an alright map for the Protoss.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll see if we get to that point or not.
Ooh, a cannon, a forge. I was gonna say a cannon machine is what we're seeing out of ButAlways. Is it gonna be one of these weird delayed cannon rushes or something? DongRaeGu, he's scouting this though. He's like, what? ButAlways, man, I'm ButAlways. Even if he doesn't win this series, he's won me over the way he's going about playing it. There is one.
Oh, man.
And there is another. I thought this was like fixed or whatever, that Protoss could wall this off. I don't know, maybe it wasn't this map, but no. A good wall from ButAlways. I don't see DongRaeGu getting on in here.
Oh, that's a lot of surface area on that one.
The fact that he canceled that pylon so quickly, that surprised me a little bit. Only 3 drones on this next one, though. DongRaeGu is throwing up spine crawlers desperately, but this is far too late, and they're within range of this cannon that's going to finish up.
It is too late.
If this rushes, this is going to work.
He needs to sack the natural, take it somewhere else, and move on.
Yeah, he's committed drones to this, though. He's trying to get onto the one cannon to remove some of the DPS. If he can make that happen, then maybe... Oh, okay. Okay, was this just a close call? I don't know. It's the 2 cannons are up now. One shield battery is about to finish up.
2-shot these Zerglings. Zerglings are falling really fast.
The shield battery is up. It's in time to save the cannon.
Oh my
What wins
gosh.
in this situation? I don't know. A third cannon is about to get up.
One of the
Okay. Oh man, this was
down.
so close.
Wow, DongRaeGu proved us wrong. I thought for sure what he'd want to do there is just give it up.
Wow, that was close.
It was crazy close. All right, well, ButAlways is in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Actually, hold on. 16 to 19 workers, ButAlways
Yeah.
has his natural base coming up.
Zerg can drone pretty hard from here on out, though.
True.
And
Saturate
Protoss
that
doesn't have
natural
any
base.
tech or anything on the way. I feel like now is the time for DTs. Let's see it, ButAlways. DTs, please. One Ling is running on into the main base of ButAlways because their one stalker that he made is on the other side of the map doing what? I am not sure. I guess its goal is to try and delay the 3rd base, and it's gonna work because there's no Lings out for DongRaeGu. Is it gonna get this Overlord? What? Huh. Alright.
Wow.
This is such a weird series.
I like it. That's why I like ZVP.
Yeah, I'm
Get
having a
weird
blast.
stuff
And,
more
he
often.
cancels the Stargate.
Oh, sneaky? Sneaky blade?
Sneaky.
I like it.
Like,
That's why I like Council
okay,
coming
well,
up.
yeah, you're right, though. Look at the worker count. That's supply block, I think. And the fact that a stalker randomly moved out on the map definitely threw DRG off, I feel like. The worker count is close at this point, and it's 2 base versus 2 base. And
kinda
2
reset.
adepts moving across the map for ButAlways. Oh, I love this. DongRaeGu's like, I got spines. I'm fine to defend versus anything on the ground. He's probably going to make a spore in a second if I had to guess. And be like, oh, I'm fine in that sense. These adepts moving across the map. Oh, they're a little bit split up here, though. I don't know. Or is he checking each base? Okay, he sees the 3rd. He doesn't want to reveal this till the 2 adepts are shading into DongRaeGu's natural.
For sure. I mean, this isn't going to win the game, but killing
I mean,
3 or
it
4
very
drones
well could
would be
secure
nice.
the win, though. Like, 4 or 5 drones would be huge
Is
at this point.
ButAlways going for a charge lot all-in follow-up?
I think he might be.
Getting charge, he's getting +1, and he's getting a robotics facility.
Okay, 2 adepts into the base of DongRaeGu. Drones are running, but they are bogged up there. 4 drones.
There
Adept's
we
gonna
go.
shade.
So we're talking about
yeah,
4 drones
that's
down.
good damage. But always doing that fancy split there, letting 1 adept take the damage. And now, oh my gosh, more drones are gonna go down. This is huge damage from the Protoss.
Yeah, these two adepts did as much as they'd be
Oh,
expected
and drone's
to
coming
do
back.
here.
Like, every drone he gets here is just icing on the cake. There we go. One more. One of the adepts gets out.
Wow.
And a Dark Shrine following that up. Oh my gosh, ButAlways. I'm loving this Protoss player right here. I am
Archon,
so
perhaps?
glad we had him out here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's... When the Dark Shrine comes up, it will shut down the Ling's ability to do this. Oh, just using the low ground, that's pretty good. Yeah, man, it just feels like a charge lot, kind of an all, and it's not being crazy.
I mean, he's 2 base. He's going up to 6 gates. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's getting a few drones at least. That's nice. 2 drones so far. The Zealots can probably be saved, or at least all but one of the Zealots can be saved. Sucks to be you. If you're that last Zealot, but oh, Prism moves on out.
Yeah, careful.
Okay, DongRaeGu starts the Spore now, but is this going to be in time? I don't think so. If the DTs just if they run towards this third, and oh, they're going to do it. There's no detection. They got to get on the Spore, but they're actually just going to be used in the fight here. The Queens have to run. There's Roaches out. The DTs deal massive damage to the Spines. Oh, he's trying to focus down the Spine, and he gets it. Oh my gosh.
Down. The Spore is out. This base is abandoned now. DRG has to get on out of there.
ButAlways, you're
ButAlways.
such a good player. He's just so fun to watch. The DTs are here. They're like, sure, we'll just keep hacking away. Getting the 3rd base will be nice for the Protoss.
Getting the 3rd would be a massive victory for Protoss. That lair is not done yet. Spore Crawler's coming up. Drone coming into a war zone to die.
Oh, DT's in the main base. They're working away on the lair. That might be a bit of a pipe dream.
Not gonna get it. Not
But
with the Overseer
still,
coming up overhead.
The fact that he's even trying that is just like, oh man, this is, I'm really enjoying ButAlways. He kills the re-attempt at a 3rd base.
And ButAlways
The
is taking a
DTs,
third
they
base of his
reland, they
own.
kill the Queen. Oh my gosh. GG! ButAlways ties it up, 2-2.
How do you lose a cannon rush that badly and come back and win? ButAlways showing it's possible, giving hope to Protoss players everywhere. That was amazing.
I am enjoying this player. I really am enjoying this player. Let's just take a look here.
The DT charge lot follow-up. Pretty good stuff.
Okay, what is the last map? I want to say Sleepers.
World of Sleepers.
Ephemeron, Winters, Acro Disco. Yes, Sleepers it is. Righto. Yeah, players, whenever they do the vetoes and the map picks, no one ever says the final map, so at the end I'm like, what map are we on?
Yeah, be sure.
Okay, we'll get everyone on into this game, and then we'll find out who's going to take it. I mean, I thought DongRaeGu was going to be the winner here, but always ties it up. I'm really enjoying the playstyle of this guy.
Absolutely. I mean, that just takes serious big cojones to go for the Zealot Dark Templar rush after the failed cannon rush. Amazing stuff there. All right. So we're going to hop into World of Sleepers. It is for sure out in space here.
Yeah, that was a good pro tossing from ButAlways. A failed cannon rush into a random stalker across the map, into charge, into DTs. Oh man, I love it.
It all made sense. Worked out.
Okay, here we are, spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. It's tied up 2-2, so he may be sweating a little. It's DongRaeGu.
And in the bottom left, he's red, he's Protoss, he's teamless. It's ButAlways.
Is DongRaeGu on a team at the moment?
I'll find out.
I think he might be on Afreeca S2, but I'm not 100% sure if that's still a thing or not.
Wikipedia taking its time. DongRaeGu is... yeah. Looks like he is teamless right now.
Well, we've got two great players here. Give them
We
a
sure
team
do.
if you happen to run a StarCraft 2 tournament and you're watching right now.
I think it's a pretty good investment, honestly.
Pretty normal opening coming out of DongRaeGu right now. ButAlways is also looking pretty normal. Whether it'll stay normal, I'm not sure I believe it at this point, though.
I mean, so far, no forges, no proxy hatches, no pool first play. It's really just been incredibly standard from both these players thus far, which... you know, anything can happen, though, after that cybernetics core. That's what's interesting about PvZ to me, is there are so many different things Protoss can do once that cyber core is up. And accurately scouting it and seeing what it is and preparing for it as Zerg is one of the harder things to do. Obviously, the top-tier players like Cyril have it figured out, Rogue has it figured out, but for the rest of us, scrubs, can be pretty hard to see exactly what's coming, and preparing incorrectly for something is just death.
It is.
So, ButAlways, he knows all those options. He's obviously got a ton of builds in his back pocket. He is starting Stargate this time. And we'll see if he goes for the standard kind of Oracle Phoenix harass stuff that he was trying in game number 1.
Yeah, we'll see just exactly what he's going for. That Adept passes those two lings, so you gotta be like, oh, these two lings pretty much gonna get the guaranteed scout. Zerg gets this pretty darn often, though. So nothing really to fret at as the Protoss. You're like, oh, I'm going for a Stargate. The Zerg is probably going to guess that I am anyway.
Yeah. It's incredibly, incredibly standard opening.
One Adept cleaned up. Second Adept is getting ganged up on by probes. Or one ling cleaned up, pardon me.
That's the thing. Probes are pretty good fighters here against those lings.
I mean, they have tasers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and they have shields. Pretty good. So yeah, I mean, all these proposed changes, it was a huge list of things too. But I mean, basically they just said it's proposed, experimental changes we'd like to try and test. So I don't know, the last time they did this, they didn't end up doing a whole lot from the proposed changes.
Yeah, I mean, what they did was we ended up with the current era of, like, Nidus Swarm Host, so...
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, yeah, we'll see, like, I'm not too sure. Oracle comes on in as the Phoenix distract. It gets 3 drones, and it gets out with its life, thankfully for DongRaeGu. The Phoenix also just narrowly gets away with its life. All in all, we see 2 Overlords and 3 drones go down this game.
Yeah, keeping that Oracle alive is a big deal for Revelation, like on these...
Absolutely.
For example, ButAlways third base is in a bit of trouble, but at least he knows the lings are coming.
Yeah, he's got an Oracle, so he should be fine. 2 sentries. Yeah, this third base will be fine.
Are they? Wow. At least they're going to force the Pulsar Beam to come out and get engaged.
Yeah. Blink on the way for ButAlways. Okay, he's getting a Blink +1. We'll see if he throws up a Robo next and then goes into something else. This kind of looks like a PvT build.
Really does. Blink Stalker reinforced with the Warp Prism at the front. take down those bunkers.
Yeah, it's 5 gateways for now. If he throws up more, we'll definitely know it's going to be some form of all-in. I mean, Blinkstalker all-ins are pretty few and far between versus Zerg in this day and age.
Especially because it's just Lings. Lings chew them up, eat them for breakfast. Roach is not as good, surprisingly bad against Blinkstalker attacks.
I mean, I'm happy to see it if the Protoss player can pull this off. He's doing it off the back of a pretty good economy. So there's a chance the Zerg's just going to be like, huh, Blinkstalkers. And of course, there is also the 2 Oracles, which could definitely help out here. If the Oracles, well, they're not banking enough energy for the time being because they're constantly chasing these few Lings off, but if they are involved in a fight and say DRG oversteps off creep attacking the Blinkstalkers, Oracles can really chew up Lings quickly and help out in a fight, so they're definitely not to be underestimated here.
Lings poking around that third base a little bit, getting chased away.
Oh, an Overseer getting found by the Phoenix. It's going to be looking for whatever it can. Stalkers and Sentries going to be able to pick it off, though, so DongRaeGu doesn't really know what's coming his way yet. I mean, he's building some Roaches and Ravagers, so he may be a little bit suspicious here. Or he could just be planning to go for his own attack. Yeah, I think he's actually planning to go for his own attack.
Yeah, and Ravagers in general are just going to be great against this. The extra range they have versus the Stalkers is nice.
Yeah, really
forcing the
helps
Stalkers to react to that is really nice, too.
Oh, a Stasis Ward could be huge for the Protoss. Stalkers stepping on the creep. A Revelation being used to clean this up. All of a sudden, the Stalkers are like, whoa, that's a lot. That is a lot already. They blink away. Not into the Stasis Ward, though. The Oracles, okay, that's a good Stasis. Oracles definitely need to help out. They need to move away from that Corrosive Bile, and they do. That's a big start here for the Protoss. There definitely needs to be reinforcements warping in, though. This attack needs to go, go, go if the Protoss is serious about this. But it looks like he is actually just going to decide to head on home with these Stalkers.
This is an incredibly intimidating Roach Ravager Ling attack right now. It is 84 army supply to 50 for ButAlways. His third base was under assault there, lost some stuff in the process for sure. Zealots were forced to deal with it.
Yeah,
and
he's got +1, which is going to really help out versus the Roaches. He's warping in more Stalkers. Is this going to be too much for the Zerg to be able to break this? So the Zealots don't have charge, so they're not going to be too effective other than really buffering. Oracle's going on, and though adding their DPS to this. How's the micro from ButAlways? He even made a third Oracle to help out here. He blinked back the Stalkers. He's got cannons and shield batteries on the way behind this. Oracle's spitting out all the damage that they can. The Stalkers are retreating. Is this going to work out? I don't know. Stalkers really starting to fall as the Roaches step forward.
Yeah, anytime you're stepping forward like that, you're feeling pretty confident. DongRaeGu.
Shield batteries are still alive at the back, but they're not really helping out too much. Even Queen's coming for DRG. Oh, the Stalker's getting caught here. The Zerg army isn't that big, but there's always a chance, but yeah, it's just too much here, actually.
Blinkstalker is not going to handle this composition at all. So many probes getting killed. The full evacuation. Third base is coming up. DongRaeGu is taking a fourth base behind this. Even if ButAlways,
I mean, the micro is pretty sweet here from ButAlways, but it's really not enough.
No, the Queen's getting picked off, which is a nice victory for ButAlways, but he's going to lose that third Nexus without question, and then he just doesn't have the economy to keep up at this point.
I mean, DongRaeGu does, like, traded out all of his Queens going for that, so he was definitely committed to that attack on 52 drones. ButAlways, he's just got a counterattack, right, though?
Yeah, he's working on Colossus and Extended Thermal Lance.
Look at DRG's bank, though. Oh, man. He's not making any units. Okay, there we go. He fires up 17 Roaches.
There you go. I mean, he brought his Queen, so his Index can't be really on top.
Stalkers, they're getting chased off creep here by the Lings, and they really need to be blinking away, but they all blink at once instead of just one at a time. The recall goes down, but no, that's it. Corrosive Bile doesn't land. I mean, a few Lings actually get bopped there. Supply, though, really tells this story here.
ButAlways is trying to reestablish that third base. The Lings are here to say, no, how about... No, you don't take that third base again.
Yeah, not
just
today.
Out of position. Colossus present, good against the Lings, not so good against the Roaches and Ravagers these days.
There is +2 for the Protoss. So there's always a chance, right?
Yeah, again, I'm just looking at this 4-2 base economy, and I just don't... ButAlways is trying to take a third base.
Oh, yeah, and this positioning is not good for the Protoss here. Behind his wall, Corrosive Bile's going to hit just not too many units, but then The expansion attempt, once again, probably going to be shut down here. The army could be trapped if ButAlways takes a fight, but oh, 12 mutas on the way here for DongRaeGu. +3 starts for ButAlways. I don't know if he's going to be in the game long enough to reap the benefits from that.
DongRaeGu just made about 30 Mutalisks, though.
30?
He's making...
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going up to like 20 or so.
Making 10. He's got 12 already. So fair enough. About 20 Mutalisks here. Going to help with that. The ground army that shoots up at 15 Stalkers.
It's pretty much the same amount at this point. It's just a lot of mutas, right?
It's a lot of muta. It's a lot of splash damage you're going to get from these guys. And there are no Phoenix to help. No Archons to help either. He's just going to go into the main base and back. Goodbye, all these probes. And that's it.
GG. ButAlways taps out in his debut in Afreeca World.